Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Juan Cristales here. We are building ground up duplexes. Man, I have done many flips in my time, and the margins continue to get thinner and thinner. I am done flipping houses. So, we're doing new construction, and I think it's a great opportunity for a lot of investors passing up lots. Most investors just don't want to look at them because they're just like, I don't know what to do with them. This stuff is a lot easier than people think. It's a lot easier now, and I wish I would have started a new construction than starting with the fix and flip stuff that I did many, many years ago. Now, so check this out. We had a question specifically about foundations, and this, Curtis was very insightful here and very good with his eye because he was like, "Hey, man, you're using a 2x10. What's going to be the issue with that?" So it says 12 inches here, but obviously you see the little gap, right? So he's like, "Show me how you guys are doing that because I just have a few questions about it." So now check this out. I'm going to go into a little bit more detail than I typically do on a foundation. If you don't understand this, don't freak out. I'm telling you right now, don't freak out because the foundation guys that are out there working, this is all they do. They don't do anything else. The concrete guys that we use, this is all they do is foundations. They pour driveways, they pour foundations for structures. This 2,400 square foot foundation that they're pouring for us, this is small for those guys. So don't panic. But I'm going to try to walk this through with you guys in as easy a fashion as I can. So we're at 12 inches, right? Now this is basically the base here. Now think about it like all the way out here. Let me back up here real fast. So I took this measurement and I'm probably somewhere around here. Okay. Now here's what the city of Willis wants, and most jurisdictions want this. They want this in the city of Houston as well. The crown of the road. So I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but most roads they're not like flat. They're like a little bit higher in the middle and like lower on the sides. Why? Because that allows the rain to kind of go out and then go out towards the gutters. That's just the way they're designed. Most people don't really know that. It's not that big of a deal. But I have the measurement somewhere around right here. And so what happens is the city wants us to be 12 inches higher. So if this is the center of the road here, they want us to come up 12 inches above the crown of the road. That's their rule. That's what they have in place, and that's what we have to follow. So that's why this one is a little bit higher. Now, if you stand out in front of both of these properties here, you'll notice that this property is a little bit higher than this one. This one's a little bit higher. Why? Because actually the road goes up. It's actually just a little bit up. Not that big of a deal, right? But we'll just, this is just how we do this stuff. So let me show you something. So you would think, right, that the concrete, if you start pouring concrete in here, it's going to start slipping out through here and all this other stuff, right? That's just, you're like, well, what's going to happen there? So let me show you kind of the way this whole thing works. So if we take it and again, this is an exterior beam section. We're talking about an exterior wall. That's what that means, okay? So we're talking about the perimeter of the property. So basically what this plan means is that on these areas here, which are going to be the perimeter, exterior, the beam walls, or these walls here, they're going to be a little bit different than some of the other ones. Why? Because the amount of weight that goes on there is very, very heavy. Okay, we have the walls, we have the framing, we have the insulation, we have the windows, we have the siding, and then you have the roof sitting on top of that. Then you have the shingles, and you have all kinds of stuff on top of that that's really going to need a lot of support, and that's why those ones are designed the way they are. So let me show you something else. Okay, so here we are at the actual foundation plan. Where I took that measurement is somewhere around right here. Okay, now why is this important? Why we need to know that? You don't really necessarily need to know that, but when the inspector comes out to come check this stuff, he's going to try to figure this whole thing out, and he's going to take a copy of the plans. This is a guy who's been probably in construction for like 40, 50 years, maybe 30 years, I don't know. But he's been doing a lot of construction, and so he knows residential, he knows commercial, but this is going to be for residential, so he's going to inspect it in that way. So the engineer has designed this foundation according to the soils report and his expertise as an engineer doing structural. So if we look here in this little area where it says foundation plan, let me zoom it in for you. So if you look here on the foundation plan, it says that the beam width has to be 10 inches. The beam depth has to be 26 inches, and the slab thickness has to be 4 inches. Okay, the concrete that we're required to use is a minimum of 2,500 psi. We use 3,000. And then this is the soils engineering company that did the soils testing. This is when the report came in, and then the concrete material estimation, for how many yards of concrete we're going to be using. We ordered 90, which is going to be more than this 84 cubic yards. Because just sometimes the beams get a little bit wider, sometimes they go a little bit deeper, whatever. I'd rather have a little bit more, order a little bit more concrete than we actually need, instead of like ordering not enough. So what I want you guys to remember right now is I want you to remember here 10, 26, and 4. That's width, depth, and thickness. So let me show you real quick. So what's going to happen here in this little area is that the foundation guys, whenever they come in and dig those beams for the exterior walls, they're going to start digging a hole in here. This whole area is going to get dug up. All right, and then all this dirt's going to move over to the side. And so what they're going to do is dig it to a certain amount, at least a 26 inches. So let me show you real quick. Okay, so here we are. Again, remember, this is an exterior beam section. So this is the only one I'm going to show you, because otherwise we'll be here all day. So what this means is that if my little ruler or my little tape measure was right here and there's a little air gap right there. So what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that this width is a minimum of, what did we say? 10 inches minimum, right? And then they're saying that the depth minimum is going to be minimum 26 inches. That's what they're saying that we have to have, okay? And then the slab thickness, you see it right here, is a minimum of 4. What this shows here is that how the cables are coming across this way, and then this is a cross section, okay? So we have cables are coming at you here, and then cables are coming at you this way as well. So we have to have some on the top here, we have to have some on the bottom here, and then we have some going across. So then that way the cables are basically in like a waffle pattern, if you will. So if we look here, all these lines, these little grid squares that we have here are essentially showing that. So you have a bunch of cables going from here, from the bottom up, and then from the right to the left. You see that? So you see how some of these little triangles are singles and some of these are triples. The reason why they're singles, because think about it. So we have let me zoom in just a little bit here, just kind of explain it one more time. Well, not one more time, but just a little bit, so we can all understand it. So if there's trenches here, right, we're calling these beams, right? They've dug these up. So these are just nice little trenches in here. So on top of those, obviously it's only going to be just one cable, because where else are you going to put the cable? Just you put it on top of this, where it hasn't been dug. So here you're going to have 3. So remember, we're talking about the cross section. So you have some going this way and some going this way. So that's all that means, is we need to have those cables in that general vicinity. So if there isn't one, or isn't one like nearby, right next to it, you need to have 2 in the trench. But usually what happens is that there's going to be like another cable that's going to be about right here. It's not an exact science. The exactness of the science is going to be in the tension more than the location of them is important. Don't get me wrong, but the tension is going to be quite a bit more important than the exact positioning of these cables. So you see how these ones are a little bit offset, so that's what that means. It's not a big deal. So anyway, we haven't gotten quite there. This cable list and elongation chart just basically talks about all that stuff, but that's it, man. That's a really quick rundown of how the foundation stuff works. Let me show you a few more pictures of where we are on day number, what is this, day number 13 of this new construction project we got going on out here in Willis. So at this point now, we have the plumbing ground that is put in. So I was doing some measurements here just to make sure that I'm tracking exactly where we are with all this stuff, because we have an island, and you guys, let me see if you guys can see here. So if you come here to where the plan design is, let me show you real fast. Where I was measuring is going to be somewhere in this little area right here. So if you think about it, we have an island that is just standalone, and we have, you notice, let me see if I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more for you guys. We have a sink, and we have the dishwasher right next to it. You see that? So because we have a dishwasher, we need electricity to it, and we need water to it. And so because we need all 3 of those, we need to figure out how to vent the water out, or vent the wastewater out of there. And so we're going to vent it either on we're actually going to vent it on this side, and then how do we get electricity to it as well. So those are things that we need to figure out as we do this stuff. So the cables got delivered today. They're a little bit early, which is cool with me because we have rain coming and the cable company doesn't work on Saturday or Sunday. So we're probably going to have an opportunity to do these on Monday. We have an inspection for all this stuff tomorrow. As a matter of fact, here's the issue with the island that we were talking about. We have the kitchen right here, and then we have the island right here. So one of the things I told the cable company for delivery purposes, and this is real simple stuff, man. I just kind of did a screenshot. I'm like, hey, man, make sure you drop off the cables right here where I put the star, so that it's not in the way, and it does, make it a little bit more anti theft, if that's even a thing. So I had them put it out there in the little alleyway. Just communicating with those guys about it. So now here's the entire thing that's been dug up. This is all the wastewater that's going in. Some of these are going to be for the clean water because we need just to access it. Don't want to confuse you guys with all that stuff, but look, let me show you just real quick what that means. So if we have the island right here, we have the vents for it right here. So there's one of these lines that has to have clean water coming in. You see how this is just a pipe that's just kind of sitting there? There's nothing, I mean, like, think about it. Okay, if this is a wastewater pipe, where's it waste out to, right? It doesn't waste out to anything. But what we're going to do is we're going to use that line to bring in the clean water in this way through the wall, bring in the clean water out this way, and be able to bring it out to the hot water and the cold water to the island, okay? And to the sink and to the dishwasher that's going to be on the right hand side of it. So that's the purpose of that. But again, something you don't necessarily need to know, but the guys who are doing the plumbing ground should know and will know that, and they'll probably walk you through it. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. I got a quick video for you guys. Hang on a second. All right, guys, I really don't like making these videos more than 10 minutes long because I feel like a lot of people just kind of just lose their attention span. But just real briefly, we have this shower. That's going to be for the tub shower combo. These 4-inch ones are going to be for the toilets. That's the vent for the toilets. And then, we have the kitchen, the sink, and the dishwasher over here in this area. So that's pretty much it, guys. We are moving along. We have the inspection for this tomorrow. If we pass this inspection, we're going to cover up these pipes. We have some rain coming Friday and Saturday. And if we have some good weather on Sunday or Monday, we'll go ahead and start putting the cables in. Once the cables are in, they'll cover it up, and I'll show you again how the foundation looks at that point. And then we have to do a pre-pour inspection, 2 more inspections for this one here after we get this done. And then after we get that done, we'll go ahead and order the concrete to, get this thing covered up. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I already made this video too long. Talk to you soon.